Right. All right. Good morning, everyone. And thanks for being here this morning to officially welcome back Kelly Kroskoff as the president of basketball business operations. Nobody really saw this coming. Finally, the woman placed at the very top of the organization, the Indiana Fever president, said the quiet part out loud. Her remarks shook the entire basketball community and raised a lot of eyebrows. The realities of that franchise, music, politics, pressure, locker room dynamics, and the clash between building a champion and building a brand were exposed for the first time. And once you hear the full story, everything you thought you knew about Caitlin Clark's situation in Indiana starts to change. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Before Caitlin Clark ever stepped into a Fever jersey, Indiana was one of the least talked about teams in professional basketball. We're talking 6 wins in 2021, 5 wins in 2022, and 13 wins in 2023. For more than a decade, they were an afterthought. No fans, no buzz, no attention. Cameras weren't there, seats weren't full, and the WNBA spotlight simply wasn't on them. That was a reality. A once-respected franchise had faded into irrelevance. But nobody in that front office could have predicted what was coming. Everything shifted the moment the number 1 pick of the 2024 WNBA draft walked through the door. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the Fever, she changed the entire league. Games sold out everywhere she played. TV ratings broke records, jerseys disappeared off shelves, and the media attention reached a level women's basketball hadn't seen in years. In the middle of that explosion, the organization faced a decision: ride the wave or reshape it. That's when things got interesting, because the Fever needed leadership that truly understood what they had, a generational player transforming women's sports in real time. And the front office made a choice that surprised many. They appointed Kelly Kroskoff as president of basketball and business operations. On paper, it made sense. Kroskoff had history with the franchise, had been part of their 2012 success era, and understood the organization from the inside. The introduction came with the usual optimism. But looking back, some early comments in her first press appearances raised questions, warnings people didn't fully notice at the time. Months later, those same remarks would resurface and spark controversy. Fast forward to July 2025. The Fever are struggling with Caitlin Clark's sideline due to a lingering groin injury. She's only played 11 games. Fans are frustrated, and playoff pressure is building. In the middle of this, an old clip from October 2024 suddenly resurfaces online. Her early press conference. In that conference, Kroskoff directly addressed the future of the Fever, saying Clark and Aaliyah Boston were the foundation, but also comparing the organization's future ambition to building a long-lasting global brand. Like Apple, that one comparison triggered everything. The clip went viral almost instantly. Fans saw it as more than just a business metaphor. It felt like a warning. The Apple comparison hit differently because Apple's identity is tied to one visionary figure, and many fans interpreted it as reducing Clark to just part of a system rather than the centerpiece. Social media erupted. Fans argued that you don't build around legends, you build with them at the center. Some said the Fever were risking the biggest opportunity in women's basketball history. The backlash grew fast, and the pressure on the organization intensified. Not long after, Kroskoff's online presence suddenly went silent. Her accounts were wiped clean. No explanation, no statement, just silence. While the front office faced criticism, the players inside the locker room were telling a very different story. Lexi Hull, one of Clark's closest teammates, spoke openly in an interview, suggesting there was jealousy around the Fever due to the attention they were getting. She also hinted that other teams were openly discussing how to contain or disrupt Indiana's rise. Sophie Cunningham added another layer, confirming that before joining Indiana, she had already heard conversations around the league about Caitlin Clark, talk that went beyond competition and into intent. The physical intensity Clark faced throughout the season only added fuel to that narrative. Clark's injuries and the physical play she endured became a major talking point. Even observers began questioning whether she was being protected properly on the court. At the same time, criticism continued about whether she was causing internal tension, but the players themselves were telling a different reality. That narrative that Clark was difficult to play with kept circulating. Some voices, including former players and analysts, suggested hidden locker room frustration. But when Clark finally addressed it, she dismissed the speculation calmly, saying people outside don't actually know what happens inside a team environment. Inside the locker room, however, the tone was different. Teammates supported her, celebrated together, and built chemistry over time. Moments like playoff celebrations and locker room wins showed genuine connection rather than division. The real story wasn't about whether teammates liked Clark. It was about whether the organization could properly build around her rise. Some players bonded quickly, others adapted over time, but the overall environment kept evolving as the Fever gained attention. Looking back at Kroskoff's earlier comments, another layer appears. Her vision wasn't just short-term success. It was about building something lasting over years, even decades. But fans focus on the present, a generational player drawing unprecedented attention right now. The results were undeniable. Attendance surged, ratings climbed, and the Fever became one of the most watched teams in the league. But when Clark was injured, everything dropped noticeably, showing exactly how central she had become to the franchise's growth. Still, Indiana continued building for future. New facilities, roster moves, and long-term planning were all underway. The organization was trying to balance immediate success with long-term stability around a rising superstar. What's clear is a transformation. From a struggling franchise to the most visible team in women's basketball in a single season. That kind of shift doesn't happen through branding alone. It happens through generational talent and timing colliding. And that's where the debate continues. Is this a carefully managed brand revolution, or a once-in-a-generation player reshaping everything around her? Inside the locker room, the message stays consistent. This is a rare opportunity. The president at the top of the organization ultimately set off a wave of reactions that went far beyond expectations. Her comments ignited debate across the basketball world, exposing tensions between business vision, team dynamics, and superstar reality. And once you hear the full picture, the story of Caitlin Clark in Indiana looks completely different. Before Caitlin Clark ever wore a Fever jersey, Indiana was struggling near the bottom of the league. 6 wins in 2021, 5 in 2022, and 13 in 2023 told the story of a franchise searching for identity. Everything changed the moment the 2024 number 1 pick arrived. Caitlin Clark didn't just elevate the Fever. She transformed the entire league landscape. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.